When some people think of Japanese food, sushi might be the first thing that comes to mind. But in my opinion, Japan is truly a noodle country, and I see a lot of you not trying enough of them. Hi everyone, it's Abby from Pictour. I'm a photographer and guide in Kyoto, Japan, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through the essential Japanese noodle dishes, what they are, a bit of background, and how to enjoy them, and especially around Kyoto as a visitor. Let's start with ramen. So what is ramen? Well, it's wheat noodles in broth. You have kind of the big four bases, where you have soy sauce, salt, miso, and tonkotsu, or pork bone. Ramen came from Chinese wheat noodles in the early 1900s, and after World War II, it exploded in popularity. Instant noodles in the late 50s helped make ramen global. How do you eat ramen? Well, at many places you'll order via a ticket machine when you walk in. So you'll walk in to the store, you'll have, it looks like a little vending machine with buttons on it. You're gonna choose what you want, and then you'll get little tickets that come out. Some places only take cash, newer places might take card, but it's always good to have cash when you go eat ramen. I actually have a whole video about ramen if you're more interested in learning about it. And it also includes restaurant ideas and why Japanese people slurp. So some popular ramen toppings would be sliced pork, egg, bamboo shoots, green onions. So here's a few ramen recommendations for you. First up, it's simple and famous, but many people enjoy it, including me, and that's ichiran. I like ichiran because you can customize your order on a little piece of paper and you don't need to talk to anyone. And then you just sit in a little stall by yourself to eat. So if you're worried about knowing how to order or people watching you struggle to eat the ramen, this might be a good place for you to check out. They have more spicy ramen, but they also have some not so spicy options as well. A few other recommendations I personally frequent would be Mendokoro Janomeya for their creamy chicken ramen, Roku Roku Tantan for the spicy sesame tantan noodles. Oh, this is so good. And then Menya Yuko for shellfish broth ramen. And lastly, Aito for pork chicken broth combo with amazing, like almost like barbecue chashu on top. Next up would be tsukemen. What is tsukemen? Well, it's basically dipping ramen. So instead of noodles swimming in broth, you get two separate bowls. One with plain noodles, which are usually thick and chewy, and one with a concentrated soup or sauce. I really love tsukemen because of how hearty the noodle feels. It's very filling, and it's actually inspired by the soba noodle, which I'll talk about later. The base is also going to be often made out of pork and chicken stock blended with seafood flavors, so maybe like dried sardines, bonito flakes, mackerel powder. So oftentimes this is meaty, but it still has that punch of umami to it, and I also really like the soups for that reason when you eat tsukemen. Usually the broth will be hot, while the noodles are often served like room temperature, so it has a nice contrast to it. But if you like everything piping hot, you can ask the staff and they can do that for you. So how do you eat tsukemen? Well, you pick up a few noodles at a time. Please don't like dump the whole thing into the bowl. And quickly dip them into the soup. Enough to coat the noodles, but not enough to like let them start getting comfortable in there. And then slurp them, enjoy the coating of that like super rich broth. And between bites, you can enjoy toppings that they give you, maybe like nori or egg or chicken or whatever. At the end, the staff will often offer wari soup. So this is like a hot broth that you can pour into your leftover dipping soup, and it makes kind of a less concentrated hot soup that you can then enjoy at the end. You by no means have to drink this if you are full or you just don't need the extra calories or whatever. You don't have to, but if the broth is really good, and oftentimes it really is, it's a good way to then finish it off. Fun fact about tsukemen, it was invented in Tokyo in the 1960s by Kazuo Yamagishi, who's sometimes referred to as the god of ramen, and there's also a good documentary about him by the same name. So tsukemen, highly recommend. It's good for people that like strong flavor and chewy noodles. And if you want to visit that origin point of tsukemen, you can go to Higashi Ikebukuro Taishoken. And although Taishoken has moved locations and it's no longer headed by Yamagishi, who passed in 2015, they still serve up delicious tsukemen. Two other places I like would be Mensho Takamatsu in Kyoto and Kyo Tsukemen Tsurukame. Both of these are delicious. Number 3 is udon. Udon are thick, chewy noodles made from wheat flour, water, and salt. They're one of Japan's most versatile comfort foods. They're very soft, springy, and filling noodles. Unlike ramen, which can be more oily and is often more complexly flavored, udon is usually clean tasting, with the noodles themselves as the star. And it's often eaten when you're sick or you just want a simple meal because it is warm, easy to digest, and it's a carb. So, popular ways to eat it, you have kake udon. This is the most basic style. This is noodles in a hot, clear broth made with dashi and soy sauce and mirin. This is comfort food in its most simple form. Next up, you have tempura udon. Of course, this is udon topped with crispy shrimp or vegetable tempura, which will soak into the broth. This is a popular set meal in both casual and nicer restaurants. Next up, you have curry udon. This is Japanese curry, which is often mixed with dashi soup as well, and then poured over noodles in a hot soup. It is very, very messy to eat, but it is hearty and it is beloved, especially in winter. Next up, you have zaru udon. This is chilled noodles served on a bamboo tray with dipping sauce, which is mentsuyu. So this is very refreshing in summer and is often paired with grated ginger, green onions, and sesame seeds. You also have nabeyaki udon. This is served super bubbling hot in an iron pot with egg, chicken, mushrooms, and shrimp tempura, and it's a winter favorite. And then one of my favorite forms of udon would be kitsune udon. So this is udon topped with sweet simmered aburaage or fried tofu. It is popular in Osaka, but you can find it everywhere. By the way, if you ever go to Kagawa, Japan, they are super famous for udon, so you should definitely try it. What are my restaurant ideas for udon? Well, I have to recommend to you Marugame Seimen. This is a nationwide chain where you grab a tray, you order your udon, and you add toppings, and you can also get tempura, like cafeteria style. This is great for beginners, and if I want udon, and I frequently do, I honestly truly go here, even though it's just a big chain. In Kyoto, you also have Omen, which is a slightly upscale but foreigner-friendly place with udon sets that include fresh vegetables and dipping broth. Next up is soba. What is soba? Soba are thin noodles made from buckwheat flour, and sometimes they add a little wheat in there for some elasticity. They have a nutty, earthy flavor, and they have a slightly firmer bite than udon. So because buckwheat was once easier to grow than rice in colder regions, soba became a staple for everyday people, and it's still considered one of the more traditional Japanese noodle dishes. Popular ways to eat it. Zaru soba. Again, this is chilled soba on a bamboo tray that you dip into mentsuyu. You can also add green onions, wasabi, and sometimes grated daikon to this. Great in summer, and this is probably the most famous way to enjoy soba. You also have kake soba, which is soba in a simple hot broth, often with just green onions on it. It's very comforting. Tempura soba, which is hot or cold soba served with tempura. Tororo soba, which is soba topped with grated yam or tororo, which gives it a sticky, slippery texture and is often eaten during summer for stamina. And you have sansai soba, which is soba with wild mountain vegetables, which is popular in more mountainous areas and traditional inns, especially you might run into this. So when you eat zaru soba, the dipping soba, same concept as tsukemen, and you'll also often get sobayu, which is hot water used to boil soba that you can pour into your leftover dipping sauce to make a warm drink to finish your meal. So soba has a long history as a food of ritual and symbolism. The most famous example is toshikoshi soba, or year crossing soba, which is eaten on New Year's to symbolize long life, resilience, and a clean break from the past year. And it's one of those things that more and more people start liking soba when they get older. Maybe it's more of an acquired taste. Tape, my husband, kind of transitioned from udon to really love soba when he was in his mid-20s. A great place to get soba in Kyoto would be Owariya, which was founded in the 15th century, and it's one of Japan's oldest soba restaurants. Next up is yakisoba. What is yakisoba? It means fried soba. But don't let the name fool you. The noodles are actually made from wheat flour, similar to ramen noodles, not from buckwheat. They are stir-fried on a flat griddle, aka a teppan, with sliced pork, cabbage, carrots, onions, and sometimes seafood. So popular ways to eat it. Sauce yakisoba. This is standard. This is just yakisoba with sauce, vegetables, and pork. Shio yakisoba, which is lighter, and without the sauce, instead it uses more like salt and maybe lemon and more like seafood rather than meat. So it has less of an oily texture taste to it. You have different styles of okonomiyaki, some of which, like in Hiroshima, include yakisoba noodles wrapped inside of them. And you also have it in yakisoba pan, which is yakisoba stuffed into a bread roll as a carb-on-carb sandwich. Finally, you also have omusoba, which is the best way to eat yakisoba in my opinion, which is literally yakisoba with an omelet on top. That's peak yakisoba experience for me. So yakisoba is a true street food classic in Japan. It's also a popular home-cooked dish since it's pretty easy to make, and you usually top it with benishoga, which is red pickled ginger, to kind of cut the richness of it. You often also put aonori, which are seafood flakes, and you can finish it with some Japanese Kewpie mayonnaise. Where to eat yakisoba? Yakisoba is literally everywhere. So I don't have a specific recommendation for you in this video, but if you want to try at a sit-down place, go to an okonomiyaki restaurant, and they'll almost definitely have yakisoba as well. Next up is somen. What is somen? Somen are very thin wheat noodles, usually less than 1.3 millimeters wide. The most popular way to eat somen is chilled. So it's often served in an ice bath or on crushed ice to keep them cold, and you'll dip the noodles into a light mensuyu sauce, which is often mixed with green onion, ginger, or Japanese ginger. You also have nagashi somen, which is of course that thing that you see on Instagram all the time, which is a playful summer tradition where noodles flow down a bamboo water chute and you catch them with chopsticks and you eat them. It's popular in Kyoto and Kyushu, and it's a fun tourist experience, but oftentimes is incredibly crowded. So just be aware of that. You also have hot somen. In winter, you can have it in hot broth with vegetables, mushrooms, maybe even chicken or fish cake. But most commonly, it is served cold. Next up is mazemen or abura soba. So mazemen and abura soba, they're kind of like ramen's saucy cousin. So unlike most noodles in Japan, there is no soup in the bowl. Instead, you have chewy wheat noodles coated in a savory mix of soy sauce, flavored oil, and a splash of vinegar sometimes. On top, you'll find all the usual ramen-style toppings, green onions, bamboo shoots, seaweed, boiled eggs, chashu even. And this style became popular in Tokyo after World War II, where ramen shops wanted to serve something filling, but cheaper and easier to make than full bowls of soup ramen. And the result was abura soba, literally oil soba noodles. So today, mazemen has grown beyond Tokyo, and it comes in endless variations. So my personal recommendation for this is shirunashi tantanmen, which is a spicy sesame version from Hiroshima. And it is dangerously good. And you can, of course, get it in Hiroshima, but you can also get it in Kyoto. And here's my recommendation is kinjiro. All right, so I have a few more niche options I want to talk about as they're delicious regional specialties that you might encounter noodle-wise in the noodle world of Japan. So first up is Okinawa soba. Okinawa soba is not your usual Japanese soba. It is made with wheat noodles, not buckwheat, and it comes in a rich pork and fish broth. And on top, you'll usually find braised pork belly, a slice of fish cake, and a bit of pickled ginger. It's the comfort food of Okinawa. Next up, you have champon. Champon is a noodle dish from Nagasaki that's cooked a little differently. So instead of boiling the noodles first, they are cooked directly in the broth, so they soak up all that delicious flavor. The soup is creamy and rich. It's packed with seafood, pork, lots of vegetables, and it was actually created as an affordable meal for students back in the day. So it is filling and colorful, and it's hearty enough to keep you going. And I sometimes think of this as ramen's healthier cousin because oftentimes there is an insane amount of cabbage and other vegetables in it. So if you need a vegetable but you want to eat something like ramen-y, try champon. Next up is morioka ramen. So what is this? This is chewy, translucent noodles in a chilled beef-based broth with kimchi, cucumber, boiled egg, and fruit. So this is from Morioka, Japan, and it was influenced by Korean naengmyeon, which I probably just said wrong, but it's very refreshing, spicy, and unique. My last slightly silly recommendation is Wafu pasta. So pasta, but not really. Wafu means Japanese style. So Wafu pasta is spaghetti or other pasta that is dressed with Japanese flavors. Think soy sauce, butter, seaweed, mushrooms, mentaiko, which is spicy cod roe, or shiso leaves. It's pasta that decided to move to Japan and get a cultural makeover. So Wafu pasta became popular in Japan in the post-war era when Western foods were spreading, but Japanese taste still preferred those lighter, savory flavors over heavy cream or cheese. And today you'll find endless variations in cafes and casual restaurants. So no, it is not like authentically Italian pasta, but it is pretty authentically Japanese. Some popular options are mentaiko pasta, which is spicy cod roe with butter and nori. Is rich yet simple. I think it's really good. It grew on me a lot over time. You have shimeji mushroom and soy sauce pasta. This is super umami packed. And you also have tarako pasta, which is a more mild, not so spicy cod roe pasta topped with shredded nori. If you're out and about and you see one of these, I think they're fun to try. So Japanese noodles aren't just one dish. They're a whole, mostly happy family. From rich ramen to refreshing somen, each type has its own history and style. So next time you're in Japan, don't just stop at ramen. Try a few different bowls and see which one becomes your favorite. Thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments which noodle you are most excited to try. Bye bye!